During Ramadan, most Muslim players around the world observe Islam's holiest month by fasting throughout the period. Superstars including the 2022 Ballon d'Or winner Karim Benzema, Real Madrid's German defender Anthony Rudiger, Liverpool's Mohamed Salah and many others have made headlines for fasting whilst playing for their respective clubs. Benzema, for instance, was quoted for saying, "Ramadan has no impact. It is part of my life, and I feel good when I fast." It's this strong belief that drives Muslim players to fast and play football, and it is no different for players in the Gambia, where matches in the Gambia Football Federation domestic leagues continue through the month of Ramadan.
The Ramadan, it involves not eating for almost, like 12 hours, I think. When you fast, Allah forgives most of your sins, and the last 10 days especially, there's Laylatul Qadr there if you pray the night prayers.
Over the years, the Gambia Football Federation rescheduled all Division 1 fixtures in Ramadan to nighttime matches, when players would have break their fast. But that's not the case this season, as renovation works at the Independent Stadium and poor lighting at other venues means games can only be played during daytime. Playing football while fasting may require some special adjustment in match preparations, fasting breaks, and special dietary changes for players. These factors have greatly helped many European clubs to effectively assist and ease the drudgery of Muslim players during Ramadan. Neglecting these preparations may put players at risk, as was the case in last season's second division encounter between TMT and Young Africans during the middle of the Ramadan in the 2022-2023 season, when one TMT player was forced off the pitch with abdominal pain, which the team medic blamed on the wrong diet in the night before the game.
I always tell them, like, when you are breaking your fast, please do not use something which that is very spicy, because it might affect you. Likewise, we have an emergency here. One of our midfielder, he ate yesterday something very spicy that affects him today.
A similar case was reported in the current Division 1 league campaign by the Real de Banjul coach when one of his players complained during their derby win over WELLBEIng in March 17.
You can see our number 24 on the flank left. He reported to me yesterday that he cannot make it, coach. I said, still now you still have to go to camp and see what tomorrow might bring. So he called me yesterday and I said, coach, I can make it up. You can see he have a very poor performance looking at Jobate in the previous games. So obviously, we are risking our players.
So that has to do with the fasting?
Absolutely, yes.
With such cases happening in 2 different seasons to 2 different players from separate clubs, one may be driven to think there could be many more or even worse unreported cases of health risks associated to fasting and playing in the Gambian domestic league.
So, yeah, absolutely, it's too difficult, very demanding. You cannot have the exact energy or exact style of play you want to see in these boys.
Ramadan requires Muslims to stay away from eating and drinking from sunrise to sunset, meaning these players could go for over 12 hours without food or drink, coupled with rigorous training sessions, which can be extremely difficult for footballers.
It's very difficult. It's not easy at all because you play without energy and you don't drink water, so you just play with your fitness.
Playing in the Ramadan is never easy because you fasting, not eating or drinking, and coming to play at this time. By this time, it is always difficult.
Players are left visibly exhausted and dehydrated, but worse still, teams play under extreme hot weather conditions, just like Elite United had to endure in their game week 19 fixture. The Banjul-based club travelled over 120 kilometers to face second division table toppers Hearts FC under a scorching heat above 35 degrees Celsius with players fasting. The heat was so unbearable that players had to have a cooling break even before the game. The tie ended in a 3-1 defeat for Elite United, whose players struggled under the heat, and head coach Major Sen did not hold back after the game to vent out his frustration in having to play under such harsh conditions, which could be detrimental to their well-being.
It's very difficult to play during Ramadan because you are playing without water, you are sweating, and if you sweat, you need water to replace it, and we are sweating, we are not having water. I think the competition department should look at it. People traveling from Banjul to Jara. This climate is very, very hot.
Well-established clubs would have tailor-made diet chart for players, but how many of our Gambian clubs are equipped with these resources to do the same? Certainly, few clubs are able to provide all necessary preparations and facilities for players. But with league matches continuing during Ramadan, it appears the Gambia Football Federation has not fully factored health implications it could have on players. Pasule Job is head of competition at the Gambia Football Federation.
It's risky playing in the Ramadan because you're fasting and playing. But we've also taken into account the heat. Previously, we start our matches at 4 o'clock sharp. But we've come to, during Ramadan, we've decided that we can move the matches a little bit to 4:30. As a federation, we are also thinking of having for players to do a basic PCRS test before the league starts. Just basic things so that at least we can assure that you are fit to play.
Playing during Ramadan could be more challenging for footballers, more so those in amateur leagues like the Gambia, where most clubs are ill-equipped and financially handicapped to adjust to the demands of playing football while fasting.
You know, we're not living with these players. We only try to give them a piece of advice about that so that they can try to be very mindful and to be able to know the type of food they need to eat and the type of food they don't need to eat. Yeah, but sometimes we feel some of these players are not listening to some of these advice.
Fasting and playing football during Ramadan is become something of a normalcy and a joy for many Muslim players. However, measures should be put in place, especially in the Gambian Domestic Football League, to assess fitness levels and general health of the players. Now, going forward, playing football in Ramadan might require the Gambia Football Federation to raise the awareness level of players and help team officials adopt to new training and nutrition guidelines for fasting players in order to avoid potential risks to players' health and well-being. Mohamed S. Jallo, GR Sports.